I am Professor Antonio S. Marajas, and this is Computer Applications in Industry. Our discussion today is how to make a PLC ladder diagram program using Siemens. So, when you turn on your computer, what will be shown in your screen is this what we call the window screen or desktop. And under your desktop or window screen are the icons. Okay, so to start programming your Siemens PLC, all you have to do is to click this icon here, the V4.0 Step 7 Micro Win. Okay, so when you click the icon under your desktop or your Windows screen, what will appear in your screen now is this Siemens workspace. Okay, so this is where you will make your ladder diagram program. Now, in any case that this area here will not appear in your screen, this area, all you have to do is to click the program block, this one. You click this icon here, and this area in your workspace will appear in your screen. Okay, so before we make our Siemens program, let us review first some of the problems that we have discussed in our previous videos. No? So we have here in our problem number 1, for example, so we have here the start-stop circuit. Okay, so this one here is your stop, and this one here is your start contact. Okay, and we have already made a program, a Siemens ladder equivalent program of this circuit, which is this one here. Okay, so I will not go into a thorough discussion on how the circuit functions. Again, we have here number 2, example number 2, that is your forward reverse control program. And we also made a program of the Siemens equivalent program for this particular circuit. Okay, so we will be using these examples in our Siemens PLC programming, which will be in the next video. Okay, let's start making programs using your PLC Siemens. So this area here, this square here is what we call the cursor. Okay, then we need these icons here for us to be able to make a program. So you have here the down arrow, the up arrow, the left, the right arrow. These are the contacts needed for input representation, and this is your coil that would represent an output. And then we have here the box which will be later on to be used for our timing or timer and counter discussion. Okay, so let's start. So in our first example, we have a normally closed contact that represents the so-called stop button. So we click this contact here and then select the normally closed contact. Okay, so this one here now represents the normally closed contact, which is your stop button. And then we select the normally open contact, which is your start button. And then the output, which is this one here. Okay, now in our example 1, there is what we call SEER under, which is connected in parallel with your start button. Okay, so all you have to do is to go back to this area here, click, and then down arrow. Okay, so when you click the down arrow, you move your cursor here, and then you click the normally open contact, and then go back here, and then up arrow. Okay? So you have now your circuit or ladder diagram program. Next is for you to label the inputs and outputs. So for this particular case, you click the question mark, and then you type there I 0.1, for example, for the stop button, and you click here. You represent that with I 0.2 for the start button, and the output is represented by Q 0.0. Okay, Q 0.0, and then the seal contact here, which is the internal contact of your Q 0.0, is also Q 0.0. Okay, so that is your ladder diagram equivalent of our first example. Now, in any case that you made a mistake in typing the input representation, say for example, you make, instead of I 0.2, you type I 0.2. Okay, so when you click the cursor here outside, what you will see here is a red color. That means that this is an error representation of your input. Okay, another way of determining if you have an error is by clicking your PLC here, and then click the or select compile, and what will appear down here is one error. Okay, now if you want to change the error, click here I 0.2, and then you change it with the correct one, I 0.2, and then click here, and then compile, PLC compile. So then you will see here 0 errors already. Now to save this file, you click file and then save as, and then you type there, for example, project number 1, and then save. And this is now ready to be uploaded in your PLC hardware. Now, how about if you want to program the other problem, no? The problem number 2. So you click here file and then new. Okay, so you will have a new workspace here. So again, we start with a normally closed contact. Okay, then a normally open contact, which is your start button, and then your interlock, which is a normally closed contact, and then you have the output. Okay, and then go back again here in this area so that you can make the so-called seal, normally open contact, and then go back here and then up arrow. Okay, so you have now the complete circuit for your forward action of your circuit. Now you represent this with I 0.1, and then the start button for the forward is I 0.2, and then the interlock is Q 0.1. Okay, you make it capital again, Q 0.1, and then the output, the first output, which is your forward, is Q 0.0. So the seal here is Q 0.0. Okay, so since in our previous discussion, only one output will be placed in one network. So all you have to do is to go to network 2 for the reverse action. So here, you bring down your cursor here, and then again, normally open contact. Normally closed contact. Okay. And then normally open contact. And then you have the normally closed contact, which is your interlock, and then your output. Okay, then go back here again, down arrow, then normally open contact for your seal. Sorry, delete. Then normally open contact for your seal. Okay, and then go back here, and then up arrow. Alright, so this is now your circuit or ladder diagram 2 for the network 2, which will have a reverse action. So this one here, again, this is normally close contact, which is your push button, since you have only one push button. So you have the same representation with that of your network 1. So you have I 0.1 gihapon. And then this one here, for the start button of the reverse, you have I 0.3 na. And then here, the interlock Q 0.0. Again, you make it capital Q 0.0. And then the output here is Q 0.1 for the reverse. And the seal here of the reverse is Q 0.1. Okay? So that makes our program, no? So these two networks are now our program. So next again is to save your file. So again, file, then save as, then under project 1, so you have project 2, save. Okay, and then you can have this downloaded in your hardware. Okay, your PLC hardware. So since we do not have our PLC hardware, we cannot simulate this in our computer. But of course, if you have a software wherein simulation is available, then you can have this program simulated in your software, Siemens software, if you have installed it in your computer, no? So naatay gitawag nato nga mga crack nga mga software sa PLC Siemens S7 sa internet. Okay, so naiuban dito nga naa siya gitawag nato nga simulation. So you can have that, and that will be our programming method or steps in Siemens PLC programming.